Welcome back to Havana Group YouTube channel. My name is Naomi. I'm your host today, and we are here with the co-founder of the Feed Africa Global Project. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning. My name is Ken Chuka, and I am the co-founder of Feed Africa Global Project.
It's funny that you mentioned co-founders. Why do we have co-founders and not just a single founder?
Okay, so we have a co-founder as me, and then the other founder is not here because if you really want to build something great, you cannot do it alone. And it's pride, extreme pride to see that you can feed Africa and found the project all by yourself. So, first, I'm not a farmer. I don't have any experience farming. I've always been a tech guy from day one. But then I have a friend who is also a business partner, a trusted person, someone who has integrity. And he's a farmer and came from a family of farmers. And he has a lot of experience in terms of farming. So I said, if we must build something that will feed Africa, we have to bring the best hands, people who are experienced in not just farming, but technology and other aspects of what it takes to really build a successful project like this. So this is why we have a co-founder. And for the first time, this is the first project I am doing with someone.
Okay, that's great. Was the Feed Africa name also a collaboration between the both of you? Did you come up with it? Did he come up with it? How did that come about?
Okay, so the project started like, we call it a snowball effect. It started with him acquiring some 200 plots of land somewhere in his village. And when he acquired the 200 plots, he came to me and said that he wants to start palm farming on the 200 plots.
Oh.
And he said he just wants to build something that will feed him and his family, leave a legacy for his children. And I said, if you just think about yourself and your children, it's too small the reason why you should farm. Why don't we include all our people? And as a Pan-Africanist, I've always been from day one, because I read a book when I was, I think, 11 or 12. My dad gave me that book. It's titled History, the Origin of Civilization. And I learned that Africa has always been the cradle of civilization. Civilization started with Africa. And I said to my friend, why don't we do something that will benefit the entire Africa, since we have all this land wasting across Africa? Have you flown out of Africa from any airport in Africa? Just 3 minutes into the air, you see lands, uncultivated lands all over the place. I said, let's do this. Let's take advantage of this to really help our people. If you can do it for your family, we can do it at scale. And then we had a conversation here and there. And at the end of the day, we arrived at that name, Feed Africa. Because really, it is possible to feed Africa with the land of Africans.
Okay, that's very inspiring. So before you even had this conversation with your friend and he brought this up, was this personal to you? Had you had this dream before? When did you realize that this was something you really wanted to do?
In 2012, I've always had this vision. When I lie down, I don't know how that was happening. I would always see myself with a team of people offloading food in trucks. You know, your 40-feet containers. Yes. I see myself not even in Nigeria, across African nations, offloading food to communities. Trucks, tens and hundreds of trucks. And that has always been something that happens. It's like a trance. When I close my eyes, it happens. All through 2012, I was seeing that for a long time. And in 2025, when we started Feed Africa, when that happened, I told my friend that this was that vision I saw in 2012. That 13 years later, it's coming to materialization. And then we launched into buying lands, loads and loads of hectares of land. And we started a project, and here we are today.
A lot of people saw these same facts, the amount of vast land that Nigeria has and Africa has in general uncultivated, and they just wrote articles about it and they didn't really do much about it. So, what would you say was the catalyst for you to start this exactly? Like, you knew the facts, you had the numbers, you had the vision. So, what made you start?
Okay, I think the first thing that enables someone to start a project like this is you really have to think beyond yourself. If the reason why you live is just for yourself and your family, then you cannot do much in life. And since I've been a Pan Africanist and truly in my heart, I love to see people happy. I love to see people live in abundance. I love to see people live comfortably. I said, since God has given us some resources to start this, why wait? Why do we have to write about it and not do anything? So they said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So we have taken the step. When we started this project, my friend said, what if other people start competing with us? I said, that would be fantastic. And the entire reason why we want to do this is to have Africans develop their land and resources. Today, we are having people from outside Africa spying and looking at Africa's land. And it's not a conversation we can have here.
Sure.
It's a sad thing. So we are trying to solve that problem as soon as possible.
Speaking of people and making people happy, what did the people closest to you say when you told them about this project? Were there people who believed in you? Were there people who were like, this doesn't seem like something that's feasible? How did you deal with that?
Well, for some reason, I think God gave me an innate ability to just talk to anyone and they'll believe me. So, from inception, when I told people about it, people bought into it. And it came with a lot of back and forth. A lot of people were skeptical that there is a lot of risk in the environment where we're going to farm. People were concerned. But there is a saying that one with God is majority. So, and since it's God that called us to do this, we don't have any fear. And we are going into this with our full chest,
right,
as Nigerians say.
Right. So you mentioned that you started this project in 2025.
Yes.
And you're originally into tech.
Yes.
So since you started this journey in 2025 with your farmer friend, has there been, like, with the purchase of lands and the farming process, has there been any point at which you thought of going back or thought of stopping or thought of opting out as a co-founder?
The truth of the matter is that the journey so far has not been rosy. And the truth, again, is that I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew we were going to face a lot of challenges. I mean, on one of those days, one of our staff in the farm was murdered by someone, or some people, but then we kept going. And I think the first mindset, if you are starting something big, is you should know that it's not going to come easy. And once you know that it's not going to be easy, it preps your mind up for any challenge that comes on the way. And we've had quite a number of challenges, but I can tell you, I've never had the prompting, and my friend too has never had the prompting to abscond from the project. And some Nigerians say we died here, but we live there. We are not dying anywhere. We are people who are backed by God, so nothing is going to happen. So we're going to make that vision.
That kind of positive thinking is really needed to achieve this kind of grand project.
Yes.
So how many hectares have you secured at the moment?
Okay. Right now we have secured over 600 hectares. Now we have signed an agreement to secure a further 1,500 hectares. And then where we are working, we still have a ton of hectares we are acquiring.
Okay.
And in the next couple of years, we are looking at acquiring at least 15 to 20,000 hectares.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Most people have like an investor overview or investors ready to invest before they secure the land or before they secure the hectares?
Mhm.
What made you want to do it the other way around by securing hectares first and then searching for investors?
That's a very good question. I think for people to trust you in any business you start or build, for people to trust you, they need to see that you have a lot at stake. For people to want to follow you, they need to see that you are the person who is more at risk than they are. So what we did is, because we've been blessed with some resources, we had to deploy our resources inside the project first. And if you are to lead people, you have to take the first step. And you can call on others and say, hey, follow me, I've taken the step. But you can't tell people to bring their money and pour into something you've not put your money in there. So if anything happens, they will be losing their resources and not you. So we decided to do it the other way around. We are putting hundreds of millions of our money and even billions in the future into this project, and then we are calling on others to join us.
Okay. So, say in 10 years from now, put away the investment structure, the hectares, what does a food safe Africa look like to you?
A food safe Africa is an Africa that stops importing food from Europe, from the Middle East, from America, from Asia. We are looking at an Africa that is self-sufficient, where communal lands are developed. We mustn't be the ones to develop the lands. We can give the communities the structure they need, give them the empowerment they need to develop their lands and feed themselves from the land that they have. We have a lot of communities across Africa that have hundreds of thousands of hectares of land wasting, not developed, not utilized, nothing is going on there. So what we are building is a prototype that can be deployed across so many communities, so many countries across Africa, that when they replicate that prototype, they can comfortably produce their own food and they will never have to import anymore. In fact, as it stands, Africa has the resources in terms of land to feed the entire globe. So this is what we are working on, and it's possible. The biggest problem is that for a long time, Africans have been made to not believe in themselves. And we are bringing Africans to the awareness that they have what it takes inside to take care of themselves, to feed themselves, and not look out to some external forces, beings, or continent to help them.
Building a project at this scale sounds marvelous, trying to have Africa be self-sufficient and even feed the rest of the world as well. What has this cost you personally that you haven't spoken about in public?
Well, there are some things I will not say on video. This has cost me. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to tell you a few things. In the bid to build an Africa that works, in a bid to keep that vision alive, I lost my first marriage. And most people will not understand. And I'm not going to go into details. Because you cannot go to that length with someone who doesn't have that same vision as yourself. They would definitely stop you on the way. So for you to have that vision firing and to get to the finish line, you have to drop anyone and anything that will try to deter you. Secondly, I've stopped living for myself. I literally have to live for others. There are so many things I would want to get for me, but because of the vision and the things that we are pursuing, I've had to abandon a lot of things, personal interests, things that are personal to me. I've had to let go of them. And above all, I think these days I just started sleeping very well, just lately, because I went to the hospital, I think last month, and they ran a test on my vitals. And the doctor said, Mr. Man, your blood pressure is too high. what is the problem? You want to kill yourself? I said, okay. If I die, the vision will die. So we
You
have
have
to
to
we
carry
have, we
it
have to
on.
start resting a
You have
bit.
to carry it on.
Yes, so that is it.
Okay. So now you have a new vision that you're living for. Where do you see this vision going in terms of growth and expansion for Feed Africa specifically? Currently, we have our first hectares in Enugu State. Where's next?
The plan right now is to focus on Nigeria in the first 2 years of our operations. Then, in the third year, we want to start expanding to other African nations. And once we've established our prototype in Enugu State, we want to replicate it as fast as possible across Nigeria. Once we are done replicating that, we need 2 years to replicate it across Nigeria to some degree. And then we take it to other African nations and go from there.
In, say, 50 years from now,
Yes.
what do you want historians to look back in time and say Feed Africa's contribution was to a food secure Africa?
50 years from today, I want people to look back and not just credit Feed Africa for producing or showing Africans how to feed themselves, but showing Africans how to break down and have a fully integrated infrastructural system for food production. So what that looks like is we don't have to ship cocoa out of Africa anymore. We don't have to ship our coffee bean outside Africa. We can produce everything, make our chocolate here, make our butter and every single thing here, close up all those infrastructural gaps, and make sure that Africa begins to export. So in 50 years from today, we want people from other continents to be receiving exports from Africa and not Africa receiving imports from other countries. China did this, so why can't we?
Why can't we? And those are the words that we have today from Mr. Ken Chukuka, co-founder of the Feed Africa project. The Feed Africa project is here to stay and show Africans how to feed themselves. It's been another episode on the Havana Group YouTube channel. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.